I stepped onto the cruise ship, my heels clicking lightly against the polished deck, a warm breeze carrying the scent of the ocean around me. The sun was dipping toward the horizon, casting golden reflections across the water, and I felt a flutter of excitement mixed with anticipation. This vacation was supposed to be a simple escape from my routine, a few days of relaxation and indulgence. But something about this ship, with its towering decks, twinkling lights, and the hum of chatter around me, hinted that this trip would be anything but ordinary. As I made my way to my cabin, a glass of champagne waiting for me in hand, I noticed him. He was leaning casually against the railing on the upper deck, silhouetted against the setting sun. His dark hair ruffled slightly in the breeze, and his gaze, though distant, seemed to pierce straight through me. There was something magnetic about him, something that made my pulse quicken without a word exchanged. Over the next few hours, our paths kept crossing in the most subtle ways. A shared smile at the buffet, our hands brushing as I reached for the same bottle of wine at the bar, fleeting glances that lingered just a second too long. He introduced himself one evening at the ship's lounge, his voice low and smooth, sending shivers down my spine. "I'm Adrian," he said, his eyes holding mine in a way that made the world around us blur. I laughed softly, feeling a heat rise in my chest I hadn't expected. "I'm Emily," I replied, a little breathless, though I wasn't sure if it was the wine or him. From that moment, a delicate dance began. Our conversations were laced with flirtation, subtle teasing, and an unspoken understanding that this was more than just idle vacation acquaintance. We would find excuses to meet by chance, leaning against the railing to watch the sunset, brushing past each other near the pool, stealing moments in the quiet corners of the ship's lounges. Each encounter left me longing for more, craving his touch, his proximity. One night, as the ship glided past the silver glow of the moon on the water, he asked me to join him for a walk on the upper deck. The night was warm, the breeze soft, carrying the scent of salt and adventure. I could feel his presence before I even looked at him, the subtle heat radiating from his body as he stepped closer. Our hands brushed, deliberately this time, and I felt a jolt of electricity that made my breath catch. "Emily," he murmured, his voice rough with desire. "I've wanted this from the moment I saw you." My heart thudded as I looked up into his eyes. I could feel the magnetic pull between us, the tension that had been building over days of subtle flirtation. Without thinking, I let my hand slip into his, and the touch was like fire sparking between us. Our nights became a series of stolen moments and secret rendezvous. We met in quiet corners of the deck, hidden behind the glow of lanterns and shadows, our touches growing bolder with each encounter. A hand on my waist here, a lingering kiss on my neck there, each moment leaving me dizzy with desire. Every laugh, every whispered word carried an intimacy I hadn't expected to find on a vacation, yet one I couldn't resist. The chemistry between us was undeniable, a magnetic force that neither of us could fight. There were times when I would retreat to my cabin, heart racing, palms flushed, thinking I needed to resist, that this was fleeting and dangerous. But then I would see him again, and all reason would melt away under the weight of our desire. The night of the storm, both literal and metaphorical, arrived. The ship rocked gently under the rising wind, the rain pattering against the deck in a rhythmic lullaby. We found ourselves alone in one of the observation lounges, the windows fogged from the heat inside and the chill outside. His fingers traced the line of my jaw, his thumb brushing my lips, and I felt the world narrow to just the two of us. "You're mine tonight," he whispered, and I didn't resist. Instead, I leaned into him, letting my hands explore the plane of his chest beneath his crisp shirt. The world outside disappeared, leaving only the sound of our breaths, the warmth of our bodies pressed together, and the electric charge of desire that had been simmering for days. Our kiss deepened, slow and consuming, each touch igniting waves of heat that spread through me. Clothes became unnecessary barriers, discarded one by one as we explored each other with a hunger that was as emotional as it was physical. Every kiss, every caress, every whispered word heightened the intimacy, creating a bond that felt both forbidden and inevitable. The night stretched on, a blur of sensation, heat, and emotion. We moved together in perfect harmony, the rhythm of our passion guided by an unspoken understanding. Time ceased to exist. There was only this perfect moment of surrender and connection. When we finally collapsed into each other's arms, spent and trembling, I felt a satisfaction that went beyond physical pleasure, a deep, emotional fulfillment that left me both sated and aching for more. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sea with shades of pink and gold, we lay entwined, hearts still racing, bodies still tingling with the remnants of our night together. I traced circles on his chest, memorizing the curve of his shoulders, the warmth of his skin, the way he fit against me like he had always been meant to. "I'll never forget this," he murmured, his lips brushing my temple. Neither would I. The cruise, the chance meeting, the stolen glances, the secret moments, and the night of undeniable passion, they were etched into my memory, a fiery reminder of what it felt like to surrender completely to desire and connection. As we watched the sun rise together, I knew this affair, though brief, would linger in my heart forever, a secret flame that no distance, no time, could ever extinguish. The cruise continued, filled with laughter, casual conversations, and fleeting touches that reminded us of the night we shared. We didn't need to speak of it. The memory was enough, a secret passion carried quietly between us, leaving me with a lingering ache of longing and the sweet satisfaction of having truly surrendered to desire. As I stepped off the ship at the end of the journey, I glanced back at the endless expanse of blue, a shiver of remembrance coursing through me. The cruise ship affair had been everything I didn't know I was missing, intense, unforgettable, and entirely mine, if only for one night. And though we parted ways with the sunrise, the memory of him, the touch, the passion, would remain with me, a flame that would burn quietly but brightly for the rest of my life.